Hare Krishna. Very wonderful day today compared to yesterday's evening or afternoon. So we're very happy to be amongst you all. You look very ecstatic, especially after that kirtan or during that kirtan. The topic we're going to discuss today is about what are the obstacles and the execution and the path of bhakti. The eternal constitutional position of every living entities is to serve. Srila Prabhupada says, bhakti means loving devotional service to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the simplest explanation of meaning of what is bhakti. First, we have to understand this tattva or truth. This is the nature of every living entities to serve Krishna. We cannot take that away, that service mood or the quality of the living entities towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To serve and please Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote a book, Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma. That means all the living entities is meant to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if I give an example, it's like the Dharma or the eternal nature of sugar is sweet. You cannot separate sweetness from sugar. Otherwise, it is not sugar. Of course, nowadays, there are many artificial sugar alternative like stevia or the monk fruit, erythritol, all of those things. But there's nothing like sugar that came from sugar cane. There's some alternatives also like molasses or a date syrup, agave, yes, they're all sweet. So you cannot take that away from them. So water is wet, and fire, the nature of the fire is heat and light. But you cannot say that the heat is the fire or the light is the fire. So in bhakti, there are 9 processes that was given by Prahlad Maharaj when he replied to his father in the 7th canto, chapter, I think 5 or 4 or 6, because the story of Prahlad Maharaj in the 7th canto is the most comprehensive of all the parts besides the 10th canto, which is the smiling face of Lord Krishna. But the story of Prahlad Maharaj is widely known all over the universe. So when he was asked, what is it that you have learned in the school? There was a Gurukul established by Hiranyakashipu because he wanted his son to be a good demon. That doesn't fit together, right? Have you seen a good demon? No. But Hiranyakashipu, that was his wish for his son, a good demon. So Gurukul was established and having Sanda and Amarka to be the headmasters. The sons of who? Sukracharya. Sukracharya is the priest of the demons. It's like the demigods, they have their own priest. Who is that? Brihaspati. Yes. So Gurukul is a school of the Guru. spiritual master. It's like we have a Gurukul in Vrindavan. Bhaktivedanta Gurukul International School. Um, Now we're going to establish a university. It was approved already by the government of UP to have a university. So he was asked, what have you learned in school today? The first question, the first day of the Gurukul. It's like, I'm sure most of you whose kids went to school, you also ask your son or your daughter, what have you learned in school today? Did you do that?
Yes.
Of course, because Hiranyakasipu was the origin of this. So when Prahlad Maharaj says, well, he was not expecting, Hiranyakasipu was not expecting the answer is like something, yeah. Because he was thinking that they should be taught along with the demons, friends, the sons of the demons, friends of Prahlad Maharaj, how to cheat, how to rule and divide, how to become politician, diplomatic, how to be untruthful, how to be unkind, all of these negative qualities. These are not the qualities of a pure devotee. So the first reply was, now that you have come to this age, uh, you should go to the forest. Give up your material desires and renounce the material world. Go to the forest. So Hiranyakashipu was surprised. What? This is what you've learned in school? Huh? That I should go to the forest? Hiranyakashipu was just smiling. He was thinking, What kind of what kind of knowledge they taught you in school? I never thought that you will be learning this. So he called Sanda and Amarka and he says, be better, you better watch carefully this school because I think there are some spies there who's teaching this kind of knowledge to my son and to your students. So he says, okay, you better be sure that they're being taught how to be a good demon, okay? So the next time, they're very vigilant. They want to make sure that no spies, that means Vaishnavas coming in. And the next time he was asked again, what have you learned in school? And then his reply, Prahlad Maharaj says, Sabanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. Yes. The 9 processes of devotional service, starting from hearing and chanting, remembering, worshiping the Lord, praying to the Lord, becoming his friend, becoming his servant, and ultimately giving up everything, surrendering. Atmani Vedana. So now he became so surprised. Where did you learn this? Unknowingly that it was Narad Muni who taught this to Kayadu, the mother of Prahlad Maharaj. Well, Prahlad Maharaj was still in the womb of his mother. So Bhakti starts from hearing and chanting. And everyone who is member of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, this is their main activities. The activities of the soul is always to remember Krishna and never forget him. And it is also one of the longest purports of Srila Prabhupada in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes. He says that the most essential is hearing, because without hearing, we will not be able to learn. hearing from the right source, and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and remembering Lord Vishnu, worshiping the Lord in his Archa Vigraha form, and so on. Srila Prabhupada says one can perform any of these 9 processes, or 8, or 7, or 6, or 5, or 4, or 3, or 2, at least one. Which is that? Chanting. Chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Of course, when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we also hear. Chanting means hearing. Without hearing, then the chanting is like parrot saying the mantra. Only alphabets coming out of the mouth, the words. It's not, as Prabhupada says, chanting is easy, but attentive chanting is difficult. Correct? Especially everyone, almost everyone in the very beginning, because the mind wanders all over the universe, then we are not able to focus. We're not able to hear the holy name. Prabhupada says, when you chant the holy name of the Lord, then you should hear yourself and others, also others who are besides you who are chanting. If you're not hearing others chanting, that means you are sleeping. Which most of the times, this is the occurrence. This is one of the obstacles in executing bhakti: laziness, lethargic, inattentiveness, committing aparad. Aparad or offense is different than sin. For the sin, there is an atonement. But this continuous again. You commit sin and then you atone. Prabhupada gave an example, just like an elephant taking a bath, and after taking bath, back to rolling on the sand, making himself dirty again. But in aparad, it is not like this, especially in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So what I'm going to describe to you, these are just an example, because there's what you call anarthas. Anarthas means unwanted desires, unnecessary. There's no need, but it is there. Having come in contact with the material energy, the living entities become contaminated by lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy. Lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy. These are 6 enemies of the heart. Enemies because they're not supposed to be there, but we harbor about them. We actually, instead of getting rid of them, we try to come into that. Just like just like uh, a person who is wanting to get rid of the material desires, instead of getting rid of the material desires, he wanted to increase more and more. So this is also one of the obstacles, hankering for material desires. Let me describe to you a little bit more further what are these desires that needs to get rid of, or the obstacles. From Madhurya Kadambini, Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur again, he describes these different types of unwanted desires or anarthas. Sinful activities that includes lust, anger, and greed By the way, all of these six enemies, they can be dovetailed into Krishna consciousness except envy. That's why it says in the spiritual world there is no envy. One can be lusty for Krishna. Why not? One should be also angry if Krishna is being blasphemed or his devotees. One should be greedy for Krishna. It's like the materialists. They are so greedy. Money, 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 sweeter than honey. Always thinking of money. Am I correct? Money and women. The woman for the man is the woman, and the woman for the woman is the man. That's what the Bhagavatam says. That means opposite sex is the woman. So for the woman, it is the man who is the woman. So yes, lust, anger, greed, they're like together, like brothers and sisters. Anger. We should be angry if the devotees are being criticized or being blasphemed. Same. If the Lord is being criticized, we should be angry. So like Hanumanji, he used anger or anger in Krishna consciousness. Yeah? He could himself destroy the whole of Lanka, but he did not. Amen. So also it says here, Sukrituta anartas. This again, from pious karma, we have these unwanted tendencies or habits within our heart that we need to get rid of. Why we need to get rid of these obstacles in bhakti? So that we can attain pure love of God. That is the goal why we perform bhakti. What are this from the previous karma? Mhm. Karma, we perform activities in the past, whether it is good or bad. It's like we were talking about that this morning, that when we perform such activities which is meant for fruitive gain, there is a reaction. What are these? Pride, desire for liberation or heaven. That is also obstacles. Because sometimes when you perform bhakti, you become proud. Prabhupada says, though, that we should be proud to become a devotee. But that being proud, being a devotee, means also it is not good if you don't help others to become devotees. It's good to be proud that I'm a devotee of the Lord, but it is my duty to help others in Krishna consciousness. Then that is not material pride. Mm. Most devotees also, Prabhupada says, most of my disciples, they don't want to go back to Godhead. They just want to go to the heavenly planets. They just want to fulfill their material desires because bhakti is very rare. Performing bhakti is not so easy, and therefore they want the easy way out. They worship demigods. They worship many devatas to fulfill their material desires. Therefore, they cannot be successful. Apara dota anartas, from offenses again. These are obstacles. Criticism of devotees and also guru aparad. See, when one comes to the path of bhakti and he takes guidance under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, then the seed of bhakti has been planted at the time of initiation. Even though love of God is there within each and every one of us, still we have to cultivate love of God. And that plant, the Bhakti Lata bees, the seed of Bhakti, in order to grow, in order to develop love for Krishna, we need to water it. Just like in a garden, if you have flowers, how are they going to grow if you just let them under the sun without watering them? So the watering process is the hearing and chanting, especially of the holy name of the Lord. Hearing kata, hari kata. But one must be very, very careful at the same time, um, because there are unwanted weeds that will sprout, and you are watering the plant, but then you see some grass also sprouting. And this grass that's surrounding the bhakti lata is compared to material desires. Because when one performs bhakti, also somehow or other, material benefits come. Some of us who join Krishna consciousness, they have negative material balance. But then when one starts to chant the holy name of the Lord, material gain starts to also come along with it. Yes or no? Yes. So now one may mistakenly, I should chant more Hare Krishna because material benefits, I want to increase more and more. So they're missing the point now. I should chant more Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so that my material benefits will increase more and more. Because he's watering the wrong seed of bhakti. So how is that seed will grow? No, it'll suffocate. It becomes suffocated that the material desires will increase more than having the love of God has to become developed. So that is very, very important to understand here. Yeah, this is in the Madhurya Kadambini. Another one, Bhaktyuta Anartha, from immature bhakti. Immature bhakti means we become attached to name, fame, and position. When one comes to bhakti also, and he started to misunderstand that, oh, I will start continuously performing this bhakti because in this way I'll become famous. My name will be spread all over the three worlds. Not the holy name, but my name, my reputation, my fame, my position. That's why when we execute bhakti, we should be careful that we should not do bhakti for name, fame, form, and adoration. That I'll be known. I'm the greatest servant. I'm the greatest pujari. I'm the greatest book distributor. I'm the greatest kirtan leader. No, this is also obstacle. Um, Now, what are the root offenses that block bhakti? Especially in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Nama Aparad. This is why every day in all the ISKCON temples, we recite the 10 offenses to remind us that this I have to get rid of. I have to get rid of these offenses. Otherwise, again, we'll not be able to achieve the desired success, which is Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema. From the Padma Purana, It's, I'm going to recite this again with you. 10 major offenses. Criticizing the devotees who dedicated their lives for the propagation of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Considering the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, to be equal to or in the same level as Lord Vishnu. Disobey the spiritual master, his instruction. This is the topmost aparat, the grievous most aparat, to disobey the order of spiritual master. To consider him as an ordinary person. Interpreting the glories of the name, like to commit sinful activities also in the strength of chanting, to consider the Vedic literature or the Vedic literatures and the pursuance of the Vedic version to be also immaterial, mundane. And lastly, to consider the holy and the Lord to be what? Imagination and also a materialistic activity. And to maintain our material attachments in spite of hearing so many instructions in this matter. And it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the main root cause of offenses, because we have to get rid of this, is an obstacle in bhakti, uh, is inattentiveness. This is the root cause of all the offenses in aparad, nama aparad. Inattentiveness. It's very difficult, especially in the beginning, to be attentive. Our mind wanders everywhere, all over the nook and corner. Not just of this planet, but all of the universe. Srila Prabhupada says, chanting the holy name without offense removes all material contamination. But with offense, the effect is delayed. Delayed. Because it says in the Bhagavad Gita that in this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution. Whatever we've done in the execution of bhakti, if we're not able to complete 100% in this lifetime, it'll be eternally credited again. Prabhupada says if we finish 10%, next lifetime will continue on 11%. So this is, but why delay? Prabhupada says you can be Krishna conscious in your lifetime. Who wants to go to back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime? Raise your hand. Oh, one or two doesn't want to go back to Godhead. No. But we have to pay the price. We have to be greedy. Again, greedy to serve the Lord without any offenses. Getting rid of all of these obstacles is not so easy. But again, in Kali Yuga, everything is in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. If one performs bhakti, thinking he's performing bhakti, but if he's not chanting, then he's not performing bhakti. We compared bhakti to salt. You can cook a very nice sabji, but if you forget the salt, then it's not tasty. You have to ask who is the cook. Give me some salt, namak. So chanting is the namak of all the activities that we perform. So it will become flavorful, very flavorful. The Vaisnava Parad is an obstacle. Most serious. To envy a devotee is an aparad. What is envy? Again, envy is the only quality or Yes, quality that we cannot dovetail in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada says the main reason why we're still here in this material world is because we are envious. Ultimately, we are envious of Krishna and we want to be like Krishna. No, we want to be Krishna, not like Krishna. But because Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer and we want to be like that. We want to be the ultimate enjoyer, but it's not possible because, again, our nature is to be enjoyed. Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. Hmm. And when we see devotees, because of our neophyte tendencies, and they're making advancement, others, they want to pull him down. Why is he making advancement more than me? Why is he always talking about Krishna? Why is he always chanting the holy name of the Lord? Why is he always want to distribute Krishna to others? I can do that also, better than him. So why don't you do it? Instead of just talking, criticizing. So why don't you do it then? Okay, he will try to do it, but in a very, very, you may say, um, envious way. Because envy means you have something that I don't have, and I want to have it also, but greater than what you have. Hmm? So how can you make advancement in Krishna consciousness? You are chanting, but at the same time you're envious. It is not possible. Gossiping is not good also. Prajalpa, Gramkata. Village talk. Like in the village, mundane. They always talk about somebody. Oh, you know that person? Oh, yeah, yeah. You know the wife of that person? Yes, yes, yeah. How about the husband of that person? Always talking in a negative way. If we're going to talk about devotee, praise them, glorify them, look for the good qualities of a devotee. Hmm. Disrespect toward devotees. We should be always respectful. I remember Guru Maharaj, he told me, always be respectful because I think he'd seen within me that I'm disrespectful at times. So this instruction is meant for everyone. Be always respectful. Not just the seniors. One should also respect the juniors. And vice versa, the juniors also should respect the seniors. Uh, Respect is not just for those who are more elevated than us or those who are in the management or authorities. We should respect even the hot washer. We should respect not just devotees, but we should respect also non-devotees. Hmm, very important. So yes, be very careful of Vaishnava aparad. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says, Madhya chapter 19, text 156. We gave this example this morning. Just as a mad elephant can destroy a creeper, so Vaishnava Parad can destroy our Bhakti Lata. That means really, really heavy Vaishnava Parad. A parad starts from the mind, criticizing within the mind, then start to talk about it by words, and ultimately become physical. Hmm. Sometimes we've seen brahmacharis fighting with each other as well. Hmm. By words, and then later on they'll punch each other. Oh. Yes, we've seen this. But this doesn't happen all the time. Once in a while, because they're envy with each other. There is no fight if another person doesn't want to fight. Yeah, one can instigate a fight, but if you are not reciprocating, you're not answering back, then there'll be no fight. So, how we can get rid of this? It says here, uh, always be engaged in Sankirtan, regular Sankirtan. So, like we have this boy here. What's your name again? Krishna. Oh, sorry, I forgot your name. How can I forget Krishna? Krishna, he goes and Harinam and book distribution. Yes? Haribol, big Haribol. Yes, regularly. Oh, and he's blissful. Attend temple programs and classes or be active in Bhakti Vriksha program in your neighborhood. Like you have Bhakti Vriksha program here?
Yes, ma'am. Every Friday we have, and then Saturday and Sunday they're on the Zoom call also.
Yeah. Because in the association of devotees, the advancement is rapid. You learn more, you get training, you'll understand the philosophy, you'll become more inspired, you'll know what to do and what not to do. Mm. It'll give you a lot of strength by doing so. And again, how to get rid of this, especially um, sadhu sangha is most important association of devotees. We have to also increase our faith in Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master by regularly reading his books and by following the instructions coming from the spiritual master. Mm. We have to have this guru nista to be so strong that it cannot be shaken. Guru nista. Faith and surrender to the guru. Srila Prabhupada says the spiritual master is not an ordinary person. He is the transparent via medium to Krishna. He is the bridge. Guru means like bridge. To cross from one side to the other side, you need a bridge. And there's a heavy current of river. It's like we went to Joppa Walk this morning. What's the name of that park? It's nearby.
Creek.
Huh? Yeah, it's
Calling Creek. Calling Creek.
Calling Creek. Yeah,
Calling Creek.
There's a dam there. So when they open the dam, then there's a big rush of water. But there's a bridge also. So we just use the bridge instead of crossing through the creek. So the spiritual master is like a bridge that connects us to Krishna. So there should be a very, very strong faith in the spiritual master. How we can develop that strong faith by following the instructions coming from the spiritual master. Wholeheartedly, sincerely. Reading of Srila Prabhupada's books every day is part of the treatment to become free from material entanglement. It's like we have a package. Read Srila Prabhupada's books, chant Hare Krishna, associate with the devotees, read Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita or Bhagavad Gita, and make your home like a pilgrimage, a tirtha. Have Krishna as the center of your life. So yes, we should also increase our Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting, to get rid of these obstacles. So we know the problem, and Krishna also is giving us the solution. Hmm. Who doesn't have a problem? Raise your hand. Oh, not me. I have a problem also. Everyone has a problem. Hmm. That's why we're in this world. This material world is full of problems. So hearing, especially Shravanam, which is, as we mentioned earlier, is very essential because it purifies our heart. Our heart needs purification. Hearing is the first step in God realization from the Bhagavad Gita, purport chapter 4, text 26. Some like Harinam Sankirtan, right? But we don't have taste for japa. Some they find it, oh, there's kirtan going on. Okay, I want to go there. Yeah. Oh, there's Harinam downtown. Okay, want to go there. What is it? Prabhuji, can we chant first in japa? No, no. Some they just have their japa hanging on their shoulder, on the neck, but they don't chant. I know one time there was a devotee, and I noticed that the japa mala is very small, or the japa mala bead bag. The bead bag is very small. So I asked him, "Can I see your japa mala?" Who is that? Is that chanting? So I asked, "Can I see your bead bag, Prabhu?" And then when he handed me his bead bag, there's no japa mala inside. It's true. I'm not making this up. It's true. It's just like a decoration. No, we need to improve our chanting because chanting, what does it say here? What does it say? Your ticket back to Godhead is inside. There you go. Your ticket back to Godhead is inside. Yeah. Just to go somewhere, like during COVID time, no mask, no entry. No japa, no going back to Godhead. I didn't make it up. The Shastra says that. Chanting, especially japa, is the heart of all progress. It is the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy of the Lord. So we have to chant attentively. Prabhupada says, chanting Hare Krishna is directly associating with Krishna because there's no difference between the holy name and Krishna. But there are obstacles in chanting, isn't it? Yeah? Yes or no?
Yes.
Inattention again. Mechanical chanting. If we chant mechanically, Prabhupada says we should chant with love. Everything that we do for Krishna should be done with love. Otherwise, it will take many lifetimes to attain love of God. So simultaneously, we are impure. So we want to become pure. So what do? We perform bhakti. But while performing bhakti, it should not be mechanical. It should be with attention, with care, with love. Tender, loving care. TLC. We should do everything with TLC. Yes. Distraction. So when we chant the holy name of the Lord, also don't chant like going here and there. Be in one place as much as possible, especially early in the morning, Brahma Muhurta hour, an hour and a half before sunrise. So we're giving all of these tips. We're all giving these remedies how we can do it, how we can perfect our japa, chant with prayers for mercy. So sometimes also when we notice that our minds start to wander, it is good also. I've learned this during some japa retreat. We should collect some slokas about the glories of the holy name. So from time to time, when we feel and sleepy or wandering, stop, pause for some time, read your favorite slokas or favorite statements about the holy name. That will inspire you now. That will like wake you up a little bit. Uh, Again, starting japa again. So it's all right from time to time to pause and have something that will give you inspiration to chant attentively. Hmm. Yes, and there's another one here. We have to be enthusiastic. We have to be confident. We have to be convinced that Krishna will surely protect me. And if I do this daily sadhana, if I chant my rounds attentively, definitely bhakti will take place. Hmm. Don't be discouraged, even if there's some obstacles like we've mentioned, like this. We have to somehow continue on and hope against hope. Krishna only sees the main intention why we're doing what we are doing. Because bhakti is not external. Bhakti is internal, more internal. Why we're doing what we're doing and how we are doing what we are doing. Remember that now. Bhakti means why we are doing what we are doing and how we are doing what we are doing. The result is one will become successful. Hmm. We have to be patient. Patience is a great virtue, right? Patient. Everyone has to be patient here. Prabhupada gave an example. It's like a newly married couple wants a child the next day. Is that possible? No. Of course, sometimes there's marriage, there's already a child because before they have some engagements already. So now we have to wait for 10 months. And if both the husband and wife both are fertile, then they'll have a child. So it's the same thing. I cannot say, oh, my guru is so powerful. I don't have to follow his instructions. I go back to God also. No. Guru may be powerful, but we have to follow his instructions in order to go back home, back to Godhead. Hmm. Does it make sense? Yes. So we have to be patient. Don't be discouraged because bhakti takes time. Prabhupada says this process is gradual. What does it mean by gradual? It's like a step by step. There is a system. Bhakti is a science. It's logical. We have to uh, do it the way we are told to do. We cannot cut corners here. Hmm. Boy, so many things else to say. Hare Krishna, how much time we already speaking here? Let me see. Almost 1 hour. I'm sure you have some questions. Some obstacles also. No, this is, I just remember now. It's our health in executing bhakti. Um, but if we follow the four regulative principles, But sometimes, due to karma, a devotee is always sick, sickly. Mm. But sometimes the sickness comes only from the mind. That one thinks, oh, I think I'm sick. Correct, Amrita?
think personally the mind can help get better. I mean, I have.
Yeah, he can help you better, but for now, it usually,
I stress out. Oh, my back is hurting. It's worse.
yeah,
I think, how can I put it in?
yeah, yeah. It can be an obstacle. So, as Prabhupada says, health first, then sadhana, then seva. You cannot do your seva if you don't have a good sadhana. You cannot have a good sadhana if your health is not good. So take care of your health first. And there is some holistic alternative instead of the Western medicine. Usually, number one of the causes of death in the Western world is the wrong prescription coming from the doctor. There was a study done. But holistic, natural remedy like Ayurveda or even homeopathic or what's that? Unani. There's a Unani, right? It is safer, no side effects. It may take a long time to recuperate or to be cured. It's like bhakti. It may take a long time, but it's gradual. And once you're cured, you're cured. Western medicine is a patch up work. Yeah. Yeah. You feel good instantly when you take aspirin, no headache. But then the next day you have headache again. More headaches. This is one of the obstacles in the path of bhakti. So I think I'm gonna stop here now. If you have any question, we will try to reply. Almost 1 hour now. I've been speaking. 55 minutes according to him. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Maya. Maharaj, you were mentioning some shlokas to be read when the mind gets distracted. Mention a couple of these.
You can recite also the Sikshashtaka, yes. But there is a book called Namamrita. All the quotes about the holy name of the Lord taken from the books published by BBT, written by Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you.
Yeah, Namamrita. Yeah.
Yes.
Or there is also a book I can remember now, Japa Reform book by His Holiness Saswarup Maharaj. There are many books about this. Yes, you can collect them and choose the good ones. Yeah, that inspires you. Any other question from others? Our guest? We're all guests here. I'm a guest here also.
Maharaji,
Mm.
what is good karma?
Good karma? Well, they said it's good karma to plant trees or give charity to the poor or dig well to get water, or building hospitals or giving shelter to the homeless. Yeah, they said this is good karma because the result of this is that if you do it systematically and also, let's say, with good intention to help, more likely you can take birth in Swargaloka. But that is not good enough, which means it is also bad. So there's no such thing as good karma. Good karma will make you come back again to get the result. accordingly to what you think you did good. So in this world, there is no such thing as good. Everything that you do materially is bad. Only what is good and good enough is when you do something to please Krishna. No karma in that one. That is what you call akarma. Akarma means no karma. Vikarma means doing things contrary to the statements from the scriptures that we should do. That means you're doing the opposite. There's also what you call ugra karma. Ugra karma means activities which are like materialistic, working in factories. Hare Krishna, I'm sorry.
क्योंकि गीता में लिखा है ना महाराज जी कर्म किए जा फल की इच्छा ना रखें।
English.
Was that?
Oh yeah, she doesn't speak English. So we translate it.
But you speak English? Is that Hindi? What you just spoke? That is English.
English from.
So what is the translation of what you said?
In Gita, he's saying, according to what he is known from Gita, is that you need to do your karmas and don't worry about the results.
Duty, you mean duty?
So what
No, where is that in Bhagavad Gita? Where does it say?
कर्म किए जा फल की इच्छा ना रखें।
Don't expect the results, but do your activity. Do your
Yeah, your prescribed duty. What is your prescribed duty? Do you know your prescribed
That's the
duty?
reason I'm looking.
So you're quoting the verse. What is our prescribed duty? All of us to serve Krishna. Let's say you're a doctor. Okay, so you treat your patient. So what do you do with your salary then? Doctors make good money. What do you do with your salary, sir?
I will, fulfill my family's, requirements.
Then that is bad karma. That will come back to you. Put Krishna plus Krishna. Put Krishna in the center. Give part of your salary to help spread Krishna consciousness. If you just keep it for your family, you all go back again in this material world and suffer repeated birth and death. And next life, you may not have a human form of life. Is it guaranteed that you'll have a human form of life? No guarantee, sir. You're happy now, so-called happy, but that's not really happiness. Because Krishna is not there. You may be doing your prescribed duty. Our prescribed duty is to serve Krishna. Be Krishna as the center. Otherwise, we suffer next lifetime. There's so many billionaires right now. How come they're not satisfied? They're making more money. They cannot sleep. They have to take pills to sleep. And they have to take pills again when they wake up to remain awake. Is that good karma, sir? No? So we follow Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmam Parichaja. Give up your so-called religious activities and just surrender unto me. Surrender to Krishna. Then he will protect us. From what? From the cycle of repeated birth and death. We will not take birth again. That is the protection of Krishna. We will all going to die someday. But the purpose is not to take birth again after this life. That is good karma. Otherwise, taking birth again is not good. Because we were talking about this morning. Pain inside the womb, pain from coming out of the womb of our mother, pain right now while still alive, and when we die, pain again. And next life, more pain. That is the fact of life. So you asked me this question, and that was my reply. I'm not trying to discourage anyone who's doing their part, but have Krishna part of your life. Then you become successful. Yes. Very important to understand. That's why we study Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita is not a religious book. It's a knowledge that can free us from the cycle of repeated birth and death. We must have some faith in this process and continue on to increase our faith day after day. Any other points or comments? Mm-hmm.
Maharaj, how do, personally, I know if I have bhakti for Krishna?
How do you know?
Yeah.
When you're hungry and when you eat. How do you know that your hunger is gone? Because you're just eating, right? And you gain strength. So when you perform bhakti, you become happy. You become satisfied. And you become stronger and stronger. Your material desires decreases. If while doing bhakti, your material desires increasing, then there's something wrong with the application. Others can tell also. You may not be able to tell yourself if you're making advancement, but others can see. You become more attached to Krishna in a favorable way. Mhm. Prabhupada says, you cannot see your eyelids. It's right in front of you. But you're not, I cannot. Where's my eyelids anyway? But others can see. If you're having Mahaprasadam in your face, can you say, can you tell? Because your prasadam is so nice. Can you tell? No, but I can tell. So I will tell you, Mataji, you have prasadam here. So others can tell. Guru can tell. Your god brothers, your god sisters can tell. Because good qualities start to develop. Yeah. The qualities of the soul starts to emerge. Start to come out. Yes. But Bhagavatam says also that a hungry person, when he eats, he will quench his hunger. His hunger will be gone and he will gain strength. So anyone who practices this sincerely, accordingly to the way the Shastra says, then we become joyful. Prabhupada says this process is only joyfully performed. This is only a recreation. We dance, we chant, we take prasad, we associate with devotees, we relish reading Prabhupada's books. These are the signs. And once advancement in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada's spiritual master, he says that it can be tested in how you become attached in hearing. The name, fame, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So sometimes we may have taste, sometimes no taste. So we continue on. Be patient. Be persevere. Push ourselves. Or have someone to push you. Krishna will push you. Yes, Krishna? No, Lord Krishna. He can push you too. Mm-hmm. Is that okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Anything else?
Maharaj, you said surrender. And really what do you mean by surrender? Because in today's world, in 21st century, surrender has got different meanings. So
What is your meaning of surrender first?
As what I understand is basically you give yourself to Lord Krishna.
That's right. Gradually. You cannot surrender in 1 second. It takes time. But your aim should be to surrender. If you don't have any aim to surrender, you will never surrender. If you think that, oh, I will surrender tomorrow, it will not happen because there is a saying, tomorrow never. There you go. You have to start now, gradually, inch by inch, row by row. Then eventually, in some distant future, near future, distant means very far. Near future, before one gives up this body, that you will completely surrender. Surrender means thinking of Krishna every day, every moment, every single second. That is surrender in a favorable way. But we should start even for 1 hour. With all of us, we have 24 hours each, not even 1 second less or more. But if we can remember 50% of our 24 hours, Krishna, in everything that we do, I will consider that as a success. If we can surrender 50%, that is very good. That will increase more and more. Prabhupada says, if we surrender 80% to Krishna, he'll make sure that we go back home, back to Godhead. He himself declared it. Krishna is asking 100%. Prabhupada says, okay, I'll give you a discount. 20% off this time. Like you go to the market, there's so many sales, right? It says up to 50% off. No, that's the word up to. But you're thinking, oh, it's 50% off. It's not really. So if we can manage to somehow or other, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, offer all to me. Offer everything to me. Very difficult to happen in one split of a second. It takes time. Should I surrender?
Does it mean just think I have this, but maybe I'm not having it. Whatever I'm doing, just maybe say an invocation prayer beforehand. Like if someone's student going for an exam, you pray to the gurus and Krishna, whatever is the results, it's for you. I'm gonna do my best for you. So the same activity, unless you're a butcher, but the same activity, yeah. It's just that giving prayers to Krishna before, during, and after, and then using the fruits of it, whatever comes, is Krishna's. How you want to do it. So we don't have to change, right? Whatever we're doing.
But you have to act upon it.
So
the action should be there on our part. I cannot just say I surrender unto Krishna, but I don't do anything to surrender.
The action is
the action what makes a difference with the intention to surrender. Then you'll surrender to Krishna one day. And it's up to Krishna, whatever you decide for me, but this is my intention. I want to surrender, so please, Krishna, help me how to do it. Give me all the intelligence that I need to do it.
That's a good.
And that by intelligence, I will act upon it. We're not armchair philosophers here. We're not here just sitting down and talking theoretically. We have to apply now what we've heard. And it depends on how we apply. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Application is more important here. We have all the tools to build a house, but the house will not be built by just sitting here and all the tools around, all the materials here. Okay. When will this house be built? But I'm just gonna sit here and I'll wait. Is that gonna happen? No, it's not. Our philosophy is so simple. Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness is so simple, you will miss it. There's nothing difficult in what we're talking here. Again, the only difficulty is how we apply this to our daily life. The application part is the most important. Any other points or questions or comments?
Prabhuji, how do we improve our faith or establish faith if we are lacking in it?
That's why we're having this Sangha, Sadhu Sangha. This will increase our faith. This will make us stronger. This will make us determined. This will make us convinced that this is the right path that I am treading to. You alone studying Bhagavad Gita, it'll take you a long time to understand. We're discussing Bhagavad Gita here. It's like we're churning the milk, it becomes butter. And then what happens after that? Huh? Yeah, it becomes cream. Wow. After that,
Hare Krishna.
over to Krishna.
Goes in the stomach.
Yes. From milk, you can have so many different varieties of milk products. So by associating with the devotees, you'll be able to understand all of what we're talking about. This tattvas, this knowledge about Lord Krishna. And your faith will increase more and more.